We have in the studio Dr. Abbas Garba Dris, who is the president / chairman governing board, Risk Managers Society of Nigeria. Glad to have you join us in the studio.
Thank
Dr.
you very much.
Abbas.
Thank you very much.
Again, very sad, distressing incident. I mean, back to back occurring. We seem not to have been able to handle this flood issue well here in Nigeria. What do you think?
Well, first and foremost, let me register my condolences on behalf of Risk Managers Society of Nigeria to both Kano State government as well as Niger State, and indeed the entire nation, because this is a big loss to Nigeria. We've been having such kind of calamities, people losing lives, and as a result of flooding and other road crashes. All are, if you put them together, they are as a result of lack of proper risk management. And it is very important to note that we've been living with flooding. We know it will come, but we are playing a lip service to it. At any point in time, if we have flood this year, we know that it is coming next year. And the unfortunate thing is that it comes to the same point where it happened. That means we are not doing anything to avert the reoccurrence of such flooding. If you look at the way our settlement is, in most states of the Federation, we neglect planning in villages and other towns. We only concentrate in the city center. So urban planning is key to handling those flooding, because the runoff water is increasing as a result of climate change.
Yeah.
And then we are constantly, every day, falling the trees, especially in the villages. It becomes a trade now to fall a tree and get charcoal in order to earn income, and therefore no replacement, and therefore when there is water and the runoff will increase. And once it increases, there is no drainages where it can go through. And apart from that, I mentioned lack of proper planning of that particular city. In most of the cities or towns, they settle in the flood plain areas. And so therefore, it's just that the water will come and wash away everything because you build on the waterways. So these are the things that are really causing a lot of problems. And we refuse to heed to early warnings. There's no disaster that happens without early warnings. And if we don't really take serious into the early warnings, especially with the climate change, then we'll have to have problems. The early warnings is there to be able to educate the community, also engage the community to know that yes, such things is coming, so that there will be evacuation of people from that particular area to a safer land, higher land.
Now you have raised an issue there I'd want to bring in. Following from what you said, why is it, you've spoken about so many things, and I'm going to raise them. Why is it that when these things occur, quite a number of lives are lost?
Yeah.
Property. Can't we prevent the loss of lives, particularly in the north? These things always occur in the north.
We can.
So why are we not doing it?
We can.
And let me just add this. From what the deputy said, he said efforts are being intensified to ensure the construction of drainage systems in Mokwa. Why is it now that our efforts are being intensified to construct drainage systems?
Why didn't we build the drainages when we were building the roads? And we know that it has to go concurrently as you are constructing the roads. And then also, that shows there was no proper risk assessment of the entire Mokwa town, because you have to carry out a risk assessment to be able to know where the flood prone areas are, and then flood plains, and then the waterways. Carve them out, remove all structures, don't allow structure to be built on that prone areas, and then also construct a wider drainages that will take away the stormwater away to a destination that the water goes.
From the picture you've painted, I'm not cutting you, risk managers and management. I mean, you have painted a very lovely picture of how this things can be prevented. So my question is there any way that when they are constructing these roads or whatever, you're consulted to give this kind of advice that you have given, or this plan?
Well, you see, independently we carry out our own assessment. At the moment, we have done that in most major cities where we expected flood, based on the earlier report issued by NIMET as well as NISA. They have issued the number of local governments that are going to have to be affected by flooding, and we have visited some of these areas to see how prepared they are. And in most of those areas we visited, it is zero. And it is unfortunate. This is just the beginning. We have not had 10% of the cities in Nigeria have not had the first rainfall yet.
And let me add this. Rains are more in the coastal areas than in the north. So why this? Now you talked about this being zero. What are you doing about it?
Good. We put up the assessment and we are advising government on it. And we always call on government to look at our own assessment, because it's an independent assessment, free from anything, any interest, apart from saving lives and properties. And then we are also working hand in hand with international organizations who are experts in this field to ensure that we have a very good settlement, urban and rural settlement. And so you look at it from that perspective, but the state governments and the local governments are not working together. So you find out that they are parallel. Everybody is just going to take a land and start building. Nobody stops that. And if you don't, even in Abuja, we have such problems. People are building on flood-prone areas. They are building on waterways, blocking the waterways. So it is a very critical
and
situation.
Water must find its route and its way.
Water must find its own way. And look at the plan, especially in Abuja, over 40 years, those people did not think of climate change, but they have planned the city, brought out the flood-prone areas, the waterways, but yet people are still building on those areas. And that is why we used to have some areas being flooded. Right now, if it rains in Abuja, you could see flash flooding on your way.
Why do you lay the blame?
Well, everybody, both government and the people. Yeah. Because there is no desensitization. People need to be sensitized, to be educated. That still some people did not believe in the climate change, and it's real.
It's real, of course.
It's real. And so if we don't really take things seriously, government must take climate change also very serious and show concern. Build it in our own plans. We talk on climate change only when it is raining, when it rains and there is flood. After that, we forget about it until we are going for COP, whatever. So it has to be part and parcel of our own daily activities in the system. And we are also calling on government to have, just as they are having director of procurements in all the ministries, they should have directors of risk in all the ministries. I'm happy, and I must commend the government in just recent company that was set up by the president. There is an executive director handling risk management, which is a good thing, because money is going to be involved in that. So there must be a risk manager that could be able to on daily basis
do an
assess everything that is being done. And that is why our infrastructural development is getting back and forth.
Thank you.
Because you do this, and at the end of the day, you meet a stumbling block because there was no prior assessment, no focus.
We'll leave it there. I think you've said all that needs to be said. The hope is just that we take this thing seriously, and do the needful. Right. So we won't lose lives and lose properties over the years. Thank you so much, Dr. Abbas Grabatris, the President, Chairman, Governing Board, Risk Manager Society of Nigeria. We'll be back on Newsnight in just a bit. Don't go away.